When God created man, the very first thing he gave was not sight, not strength, not even food. He gave breath. The breath of life. That breath was the sign of his presence, his peace, and his power. And today, my dear brothers and sisters, God is saying again, breathe. Because sometimes life presses so hard upon your chest that you forget that the same Spirit who breathed into Adam still breathes into you. When God says, breathe, he is not just speaking to your lungs, he is speaking to your spirit. There are moments in life when the pressures, the disappointments, and the delays become so heavy that you forget how to breathe in faith. You inhale fear and exhale worry. You wake up tired, you go to bed burdened, and your soul feels suffocated by unanswered prayers. But God is reminding you that his breath is the source of your life. In Genesis, before Adam moved, spoke, or worked, God breathed into him the breath of life. That same divine breath is what sustains you even now. It means that your revival doesn't start when circumstances change. It starts when his Spirit fills you again. The enemy wants to steal your breath by filling your mind with anxiety, by choking your hope, by making you feel like you have no strength left to go on. But every time you pause and breathe in his presence, something begins to shift. Peace replaces panic. Strength replaces weariness. God's breath carries healing, renewal, and divine alignment. It is the reminder that you are not running on your own energy. You are sustained by his Spirit. When God says, breathe, he is calling you to inhale his promises and exhale your fears. Many people pray for miracles, but they do not realize that miracles begin with the breath of God moving again inside of them. You cannot build faith in a suffocating atmosphere of doubt. You must first let the breath of God restore your inner peace. When his breath comes, depression loses its grip, confusion fades, and clarity begins to rise. You start to see not from your pain, but from his perspective. God is restoring your spirit before he restores your situation. Because if he changes your situation before your spirit, you won't be ready to carry what he gives. The breath of God prepares you for the blessing of God. Before he opens the door, he strengthens your heart. Before he multiplies the provision, he multiplies your peace. You may not see it yet, but every time you breathe in faith, the atmosphere around you begins to respond, and heaven starts to move on your behalf. Rest is not retreat. It is a revelation of trust. When God calls you to rest, he is not asking you to give up. He is asking you to give in to his plan, his timing, and his will. The world teaches you to hustle, to strive, to never stop pushing, as if rest means weakness. But in God's kingdom, rest is strength. Rest is not the absence of activity. It is the presence of peace. It is the posture of someone who knows that while they sleep, God never does. He works in silence, arranging details, shifting hearts, preparing outcomes long before your eyes can see them. When God tells you to rest, it's because he's already gone ahead of you. You see, rest is the language of faith. When you truly believe that God is in control, you stop panicking over things that are beyond your reach. You stop trying to force doors open that God intends to open for you in his perfect timing. There is a supernatural calm that fills your heart when you finally let go of your need to manage everything and simply trust that the one who began the work will also finish it. That kind of rest cannot be found in a vacation or a quiet room. It can only be found in the presence of God. When you rest, you're declaring, God, I trust you more than my understanding. You are saying, even when I can't trace your hand, I still trust your heart. Rest allows faith to breathe and gives God space to move. It's in the still moments that your spirit hears his whisper, your faith grows deeper, and your vision becomes clearer. Rest doesn't mean nothing is happening, it means something is happening that you cannot yet see. Many people miss their breakthrough because they confuse stillness with stagnation. They think waiting means wasting time, but in the spiritual realm, waiting is working. God is building patience, strengthening your roots, and deepening your dependence on him. Every time you choose rest over worry, you are positioning yourself for divine results. The storm may rage, the winds may blow, but rest says, my God is still on the throne. Rest is the revelation that you don't need to fix everything, because the one who holds everything already has a plan. When you let go, God steps in. There comes a point in every believer's journey where your strength, your strategies, and your understanding reach their limit. You've prayed, you've planned, you've pushed, and yet the door remains closed. It's not because God has forgotten you. It's because he's waiting for you to surrender. As long as you keep trying to control the outcome, you block the flow of his power. God does not compete with human effort. He responds to humble faith. The moment you let go of how you think it should happen, you give him permission to move in ways that exceed your imagination. Letting go is not giving up. It is stepping aside so God can take over. It is the spiritual act of saying, Lord, I've done all I can, and now I trust you to do what only you can. When you release the weight of trying to manage everything, you make room for his miracle, working power to operate freely. Many of the greatest moves of God begin right after someone says, I surrender. That's the point where your hands come off and his hands come on. In Scripture, every major miracle followed surrender. When Moses lifted his staff and let the Red Sea part, he didn't have control. He had obedience. When the boy gave up his lunch, Jesus multiplied it. When the widow poured out her last bit of oil, the jars overflowed. None of them saw the miracle until they released what was in their hands. God cannot fill what is still clenched shut. He pours abundance into open hands and surrendered hearts. Letting go is the bridge between faith and fulfillment. It means trusting that even if you don't know the how, you believe in the who. It means that you no longer rely on your logic to explain what only his Spirit can perform. Sometimes God delays not to deny you, but to draw you closer, to teach you that his ways are higher than yours. When you finally stop trying to make everything happen, you begin to see the fingerprints of God working in silence, turning what looked like loss into divine setup. Surrender invites the supernatural, and where faith releases control, heaven releases power. God is about to do what you could never imagine. The waiting season often feels like silence, but in the silence, God is setting the stage for something extraordinary. You may think nothing is happening, but heaven is moving. Every delay is divine timing. Every closed door is redirection. And every unanswered prayer is preparation for something far greater than what you asked for. God never wastes time. He uses it to align hearts, prepare circumstances, and mature faith, so that when the miracle arrives, you are ready to receive it. His plans are not just to meet your expectations, they are to exceed them. What He is about to do will not just bless you, it will reveal His glory through you. In moments when you feel forgotten, remember that hidden seasons are where God does His deepest work. Seeds grow in the dark before they break through the soil. Likewise, your faith grows in the quiet before the breakthrough appears. God often works behind the curtain so that when the curtain finally opens, everyone knows it was His hand, not yours. The stillness you're experiencing is not abandonment, it's divine strategy. He's positioning people, orchestrating opportunities, and removing obstacles that you don't even know exist. What God is about to release into your life cannot be achieved through human effort. It must be revealed through divine power. When He moves, it won't be gradual, it will be sudden. It will shift everything, and you'll realize that every tear, every weight, and every test had a purpose. Suddenly, favor will find you. Suddenly, answers will come. Suddenly, what seemed impossible will stand before you as reality. God specializes in doing the unimaginable because He wants His children to know that nothing is too hard for Him. So even when nothing seems to be happening, trust that God is working on the unseen level. The same God who spoke light into darkness is speaking order into your chaos. The same God who turned water into wine is turning your emptiness into abundance. You may not see the evidence yet, but the atmosphere is shifting, and heaven's timeline is aligning with your faith. What He's preparing will not just restore what was lost. It will multiply beyond what you thought was possible. When God says, "Breathe, rest, and watch what I'm about to do," He is not offering comfort without purpose. He is inviting you into divine partnership through faith. You don't have to understand everything. You just have to trust Him in everything. The same God who breathed life into dust is breathing hope into your situation right now. The same God who parted seas and raised the dead is still working miracles today, and He has not forgotten your name. This is your moment to release the weight, to quiet your heart, and to let His Spirit fill the spaces where fear once lived. Rest is not a delay, it's preparation. Surrender is not weakness, it's the doorway to strength. The things you've been waiting for, praying for, believing for, God has heard every whisper, and His timing is perfect. So today, breathe again, rest in His promises, watch with expectation. Because the God who began the good work in you is faithful to complete it, and what He's about to do will leave no doubt that His hand has been upon your life all along.